الأتمان الأكملان على محمد رسول الله سيد الأولين والآخرين وإمام الأنبياء والمرسلين والشافع المشفع يوم الدين وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. حياكم الله, dear brothers and sisters, to this session of the character of the Prophet ﷺ, and we are with the specific session that handles out his relation to his wives and relatives. And let us begin with his character sallallahu alayhi wasallam in general. As Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Qalam, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. And those standards on an exalted standard of character. That's what Allah Ta'ala described His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and He is the all knower subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala was asked, what was the character of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? She said, don't you read the Qur'an, his character was the Qur'an. And this means that whatever the Qur'an's commands with, he would sallallahu alayhi wasallam be the first one who implement. And whatever the Qur'an forbids, he would be the first one who stays away from that forbidden thing. Qur'an, if we go through Qur'an, we see Qur'an commands with honesty, gentleness, tolerance, generosity, softness, and every good manner and character. And Qur'an forbids lying, harshness, all these type of things which people run away from. It was reported in Sunan At-Tirmidhi on the authority of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiallahu ta'ala anhuma that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, خِيَارُكُمْ أَحَاسِنُكُمْ أَخْلَاقًا. And then he, Ibn Amr said, وَلَمْ يَكُنِ النَّبِيُّ صلى الله عليه وسلم فَاحِشًا وَلَا مُتَفَاحِشًا. He صلى الله عليه وسلم said, the best of you are the best in their manners. The best of you are the ones with the best manners and characters. And now if you want to know your position before everyone else, just look what type of characters and manners you have. What types of characters and manners you have. If for example, you have a problem with someone and you want to know how to deal with it, the easy way to know that is to check, did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have any Did Rasulullah ﷺ have any problem with anyone? Or anyone have caused a problem to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? If the answer is yes, then you need to see, you need to check how did he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam deal with this type of thing. For example, one day he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in his house, in the house of Aisha, and a man knocked the door. When it was said to Rasulullah that so and so by the door, he said, "Bi'sa akhul ashira." What a bad brother of a tribe he is. Meaning, the tribe is good, but he is not a good member of the tribe. And then he allowed him in. When the man came in, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam smiled at his face and hugged him. And when the man left, Aisha radiallahu anha asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, saying, "Ya Rasulullah, when you are told that so and so by the door, you said bi'sa akhul ashira. And when he entered, you smiled at his face and you hugged him." He said, "Oh Aisha, since when you know me somebody that people avoid because of his harshness? Since when you know me like that? Now, where are we from this type of character?" Today many people say that I will speak the truth whatsoever, even if it causes problems, or I will speak the truth. Did Rasulullah or didn't Rasulullah speak the truth? Of course, but to speak the truth, you must have wisdom. You must have wisdom. And this is, as we said, where we can find this character in the Quran. Aisha said, كان خلقه القرآن. His character was the Quran. Okay, this type of thing, where we find it in the Quran. Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. Do not accuse. Do not insult. Those false deities that they worship besides Allah, so that these kuffar do not go and accuse and say bad things about Allah. So Allah Ta'ala told us, although that these are false deities, false gods, but Allah Ta'ala told us not to accuse them or say anything bad about them in front of the kuffar. So we do not encourage the kuffar to do so against Allah. So we are commanded to leave something which is true. To accuse the false gods or false deities, that is truth, that is haqq. But when the consequence is going to be bad, then we are told to avoid. We are told to avoid. So we have to use the wisdom in dealing with these things. And the hadith also in Sunan al-Tirmidhi on the authority of Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He said that Rasulullah sallallahu said, "Inna min ahabbikum ilayya وأقربكم مني مجلسا يوم القيامة أحاسنكم أخلاقا وإن أبغضكم إلي وأبعدكم مني مجلسا يوم القيامة الثرثارون والمتشدقون والمتفيهقون قالوا يا رسول الله قد علمنا الثرثارون والمتشدقون فما المتفيهقون قال المتكبرون." Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu is reporting this hadith also in the manners and characters. He sallallahu saying that from those who I love most amongst you and those who are closer to me on the day of resurrection are the ones who are upon the best characters. And from those who I hate most, and they are far from me on the day of resurrection, are those Thartharun. Thartharun. Thartharun, those who speaks a lot for a reason and for no reason. Just they want to speak. And they say, whoever speaks a lot mistakes a lot. Whoever speaks a lot mistakes a lot. Yani makes mistakes. Wrongs a lot. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, قُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ اصْمُتْ. Speak the truth or keep quiet. Don't just speak for anything and everything. No, that's not good. That's not good. And والمتشدقون والمتشدقون and المتشدقون, a plural of المتشدق, and المتشدق is the one who have a sharp tongue with people. The one who have sharp tongue with people. When he speaks with people, his tongue is sharp, so people avoid him. They don't want to speak to him. They don't want to meet him. They don't want to sit to him. That's called mutashaddiq in Arabic. And also mutashaddiq is the one who tries to use language that people even maybe do not know. So they ask him, what is this? What is that? And he tries to bring always strange words and like that to be seen that he knows more than the others. And subhanallah, those ulama whom we studied with, the like of Shaykh ibn Baz rahimahullah, the imam of his time, but he always speaks in a very simple language that even the shepherd can understand. He does not use, as they say, gerunds and special language, and no, he does not try to bring the old Arabic words so people do not understand what he says. Or because we see people today, even from the lecturers, you find people who their speech is very simple, people understand it. And others who use some sort of terminologies and words and vocabulary that people do not know. Do not know. That's also condemned. It's not good. And al-mutafayhiqun. Al-mutafayhiqun. Mutafayhiq, it was said that he is the one who tries to bring the strange issues. We said the mutashaddiq is the one who uses strange vocabulary, strange language. The mutafayhiq may not use strange language, but he always tries to bring strange issues. Strange issues. And this type of person sometimes be in a very bad situation, bad position, and bad image. Like one da'i who always love to use like these things, strange issues. Maybe issues of fiqh, but he wants to go deep in the books of khilaf, of conflict or different opinions of the scholars, and try to bring the one which is very strange to the people. One day he gave a talk, and he said that in Hajj, people, instead of performing Tawaf al-Ifada in the days of Hajj, and it is hard and difficult and crowd. But they delay it, they go home, and after 1 or 2, 3 months, then they come back and do Tawaf al-Ifadah. Tawaf al-Ifadah is one pillar of Hajj. Why he said that? It is tafayhuq now. It is what is called tafayhuq. Fayhuq yani wants to show that he is faqih, but in fact he is ignorant. Because when he digged into the books of ulama, he found this issue. They said that Tawaf al-Ifadah is in Arabic they say محله العمر كله, yani its time is the whole life, meaning you cannot leave it all of your life. You are responsible for doing it. It does not mean it's okay that you go and do the Tawaf al-Ifadah sometime later. No, it does not mean that. But he understood it this way, because he's only looking for strange issues. And one day, he was teaching Bulugh al-Maram, and again, one another tafayhuq. I had a guest from Iraq, a student of knowledge, and I told him, let's go and pray in this masjid. We went there, prayed Isha, and the guy, after Isha, started giving the class from Bulugh al-Maram. And he was explaining the book of Miyah, the book of water. And there he said, yani Imam Hajar was speaking about the different type of water that can be used for wudu and tahara. And he mentioned the water of rain, the water of rivers, the water of seas, the water of wells, and there it is said, wa ma'ul uyun, ma'al uyun. Ma is water. He now did a transliteration. Uyun is plural of ayn, and ayn could be the eye and the fountain. Fountain is called ayn in Arabic. How did he understand it? Because he's only looking for tafayhuq, strange issues. He said, if anybody can collect tears in a pot to the level that he can make wudu with, then he can make wudu with that. And no one of scholars of Islam said that. No one. But he misused, because he was only focusing on, I want strange things to be seen. I'm somebody. That's a problem. That's a problem. You know? So anyway, this is also from the bad manners and characters. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the topic today is about his character with his wives. The one given to me is the character with his wives. We need to know first of all who his wives were. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam was married to a number of wives. From them, or first one of them was Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. Khadija bint Khuwaylid ibn Asad. And she was his first wife. She was his first wife. And from her, he got all of his children. All of his children except for Ibrahim, who was from Maria radiallahu ta'ala anha. And we're going to speak about also Maria. So Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, he worked for her before he got the prophethood and before he married her. She used to be a businesswoman, and he sallallahu was somebody who was known as a trustworthy, honest person in Mecca. So Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha sent someone to negotiate with him to work for her, to take her merchandise to Sham and sell it there, and buy some merchandise from Sham and bring it to Mecca and sell it there. And from the first year, she got a profit that she never had before with all those who worked for her. And she sent with him, along with him, her slave to monitor, to see what he sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he acts. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam had shown, normally it's not that he shown it to show it, but that was his normal character and manner, honesty and all good manners and characters. That attracted Khadija radiallahu anha to marry him, and he married her, and she was the only wife with him until she died. He did not marry any other woman, and she was older than him, and she was married before him. So he married her when he was 25 years old, and she was on 40. She was the big help to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She held him very highly from the day one of prophethood, when he saw Jibreel alayhi salam in his form, and he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was scared. He was scared, and he came to Khadija saying, Dathiruni, Dathiruni, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, because he was scared to what he saw when he saw Jibreel in his normal form. And she gave birth of all of his children, as we said, except for Ibrahim. And then he married Sauda bint Zam'a radiallahu ta'ala anha. And this Sauda radiallahu ta'ala anha, when she became very old, she told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she knew that he loved Aisha. He used to love Aisha highly. She said to him, I'm an old woman, and I don't want you to divorce me, and I want to be your wife in the Jannah. So I give my day for Aisha. So she stayed, she remained with him until he sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. And then as the third, he married Aisha radiallahu anha. That was 2 or 3 years before Hijrah, before migrating to Medina, and she was 9 years old. 9 years old, but he did not do the wedding then. Sorry, he married her when she was 6 or 7 years old. 6 or 7. Two different opinions. And he married her when she was 9. Now people say, how come he marry a girl when she is 9? In the hot countries, the women get mature earlier than women in the cold countries because of the heat. And as Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala said that he saw a grandmother who was only 21 years old. And she was already grandmother. Not a mother, a grandmother. 21 years old. This is because in the hard countries, the girls get menses and like that very early. Very early. Now, and then he married after her Hafsa, the daughter of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was married to Khunais ibn Hudafa. To Khunais ibn Hudafa, who was a companion of Rasulullah and he participated in Badr, but he died after that in Medina. So Rasulullah married her. And there is a story behind this. Her father, Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when she finished her iddah, her period after her husband passed away, Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu went to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and offered Aisha for him to marry her. But Abu Bakr as-Siddiq did not show any interest. So he went to Uthman, and Uthman did not show any interest in marrying her. Umar al-Khattab was sad. How come I offer my daughter to my friends and they don't accept? So he went to Rasulullah complaining. Rasulullah smiled and he said to him, maybe Allah will bring her who's better. And subhanAllah, it was him sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Allah commanded him, as in the hadith reported by Al-Hakim, that Jibreel alayhi salam came to that was when he divorced her. It was said that Isa divorced her, and then Jibreel came to him and he said to him, no, Allah Ta'ala is telling you to keep her, as she is a woman who fasts a lot and prays night a lot, and she is your wife in the Jannah. He then married Habiba, Ramla bint Abi Sufyan, Sakhr ibn Harb radiallahu anhu. He married Ramla, and Ramla was under Abdullah ibn Jahsh, was a wife of Abdullah ibn Jahsh, who both migrated to Abyssinia, and there Abdullah ibn Jahsh became Christian. So when he became Christian, he apostated Islam. They were separated because the Muslim woman cannot stay under kafir man. And this is good thing to know here. Some women may become Muslims while their husbands are still on cover. They cannot stay together. He cannot enjoy her. But if that man becomes Muslim, they can go back to each other without any contract, without nothing. However, when he is still kafir, whatsoever religion he is upon, Ahlul Kitab or not Ahlul Kitab, she is not allowed to stay with him. She is not allowed to stay. Rather that a Muslim woman marries a kafir man, as we hear these days. You may hear some fatwa like that, but false fatwa. That the Muslim woman can marry a man from amongst Ahlul Kitab. And that's not correct. Allah Ta'ala in Surah Talaq have, or Surah Al-Mumtahina, have clarified this issue. Now, and then Isa married Salama. Salama, and she has also a story. She has also a story. Salama is Hind, the daughter of Abi Umayyah, the son of Al-Mughira. She was a wife of Abu Salama, Abdullah ibn Abdul Asad. When Abdullah ibn Abdul Asad passed away, she was very sad. And Rasulullah came to give her condolences, and he saw her very sad. He told her, you don't need to be sad. May Allah Ta'ala bring you someone who is better than Abu Salama. She said, who can be better than Abu Salama? She never expected that Rasulullah might be the one who come and marry her. Otherwise, she knew that Rasulullah is better than Abu Salama and million Abu Salama. But she never thought that he will come and ask her for marriage. It was a while when she finished her period, then he came and asked her to marry him. And she had a son called Umar. And this son, this boy, has a story. We learned how to eat from this boy, because he was the stepson of Rasulullah, and he was sitting one day with him on the meal, and he was taking food from the other side of the plate. And so Rasulullah taught us a character here, an etiquette of eating. He said, Ya ghulam, Sammillah wa kul biyaminika wa kul mimma yalik. 3 etiquettes of food. Sammillah, say Bismillah before. Kul biyaminik, you eat with your right hand. Eat and drink, of course. Kul mimma yalik, eat from what is next to you. Don't extend your hand to the other side of the plate. And then he married Zainab bint Jahsh, and she is his cousin. She was the wife of his slave, the one who he freed, Zayd ibn Haritha. And this is also another thing that this marriage teaches us. The reason why Rasulullah married Zainab bint Jahsh is that the Arabs used to say that it is not allowed for a man to marry the divorced woman of his slave. So Allah Ta'ala refuted that and abrogated that. And then he married Juwayriyah bint al-Harith ibn Abi Dirar, and she was from amongst the Jew. She was a Jewish. When Rasulullah had the war with Bani al-Mustaliq, she was one of those war prisoners, and she was given to Thabit ibn Qais ibn Shammas. And Thabit didn't want to keep her. So he said to her, you can go free if you pay me so and so. She goes, and even either if she is married or she works, and then she pays him this amount of money. So when this happened, Rasulullah married her and paid Thabit ibn Qais ibn Shammas. And then he married another Jewish woman, that was Safiya bint Huyay ibn Akhtab. She was also from amongst the Jewish. She was taken as a war prisoner in the Battle of Khaybar. but she was a wife of Kinan ibn Abi al-Haqiq, and he was one of the heads of the tribe, Banu Qaynuqa. So she was one of, now Juwayriya and Safiya were two of, let's call them the royal family. Royal family must not be, humiliated, and even if they are war prisoners. So that's why Rasulullah offered marrying them. And they accepted, of course, after they accepted Islam. They first accepted Islam. And Rasulullah then married them. Not by force, he just offered them. Will you accept to marry me? And no woman would be given this chance and refuse it. Except one woman who Rasulullah married, and she came and she said, "A'udhu billahi mink." The Prophet ﷺ said, "Laqad udhti bi Mu'adh, ilhaqi bi ahlik." You have sought refuge and protection with one who can provide it, so go back to your family. Now, and this is from his character. So he did not say, "No, I married you, I'm your husband, I'm this, I'm this." How come you said that? He didn't hurt her, he didn't. But she said, "A'udhu billahi mink." He said, "Khalas, finish. You don't want me, I don't want you. No problem." Where are the husbands today from this type of character and manner? And then he married Maymuna bint al-Harith. Maymuna bint al-Harith, and she was the auntie of Khalid ibn Walid and Abdullah ibn Abbas. He married her in a place called Sarif. And Sarif is a place has a story too. Sarif is the place where he married Maymuna bint al-Harith, and Sarif is where she passed away. Later on, after a number of years, she passed away in Sarif. And Sarif is a place between Mecca and Medina, close to Mecca, nearly about 9 to something miles away from Mecca. And then, yes, and the other incident happened in Sarif is also an incident that we taught and we got a lesson from it. That is the incident of Aisha and the Hajj of Rasulullah when she had the menses at that place. And he came to her tent and found her crying. He asked her, "Why you're crying?" She said, "Everybody's going to perform Umrah now and I cannot." He said, "Well, don't worry. Whatsoever tawaf and sa'i you make later is enough for your Hajj and Umrah," meaning you become Quran. So this is another story. And then he married, and this was the last of those women that he married. We did not mention Maria, for example, because Maria wasn't a wife. She was not a wife. Maria was a slave sent as a gift by Al-Muqawqis, the king of Alexandria, a Coptic king who was in Alexandria. He sent Maria and her sister and his 2-3 donkeys, one called Duldul that Isa used to use a lot, and some jewelries as gift to Rasulullah. He distributed all what was sent to the Sahaba except for Maria. He held her for himself, and she gave birth of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim, the son of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Um, Now, why Rasulullah ﷺ married all these women? Now, people ask why he married all these women and this. First of all, Allah Ta'ala permitted him to marry this number and nothing more. He cannot marry more. And each marriage of Rasulullah ﷺ has a reason and a wisdom. As Imam Ibn Hajar said in Fath al-Bari, 10 reasons. One, that people who mix with Rasulullah and know from him what others cannot know, because the wife cannot know, can know from the husband more than what his father, mother, brothers, friends can know. Like what, for example, Aisha radiallahu anha said, that he sallallahu whenever she has menses, he tells her, put a cloth on your private part, and he enjoys her. So this teaches us now, when Aisha said that to us, to the people, we knew now that the husband can enjoy his wife when she is in the menses, but not in the private part. And also from these things, she also, Aisha radiallahu anha, taught us how the husband and wife need to be, what type of relation they should have. She said that Rasulullah might sit with me on a meal and I bite the meat, and he says, show me from where did you bite? And he bites from the same place, and this brings the pleasure to her. And she drinks from a cup, and he says to her, show me from where you drank. So he drinks from the same place. And also she said that Rasulullah and I might enjoy each other and then get to the toilet, to the washroom, and then we take a shower from the same bucket, and I say, leave some for me, and he says, leave some for me, and we laugh. So this shows, this type of information. How come the Abu Huraira or Abdullah ibn Umar or anybody tells us that? How come? This can only be from inside his house. And that's why he married this big number of wives. So each one will tell us what he ﷺ used to do in his house where people cannot see. The other thing is that he married, as you saw, from different tribes of people. From Quraysh, from Khuza'a, from Ansar, from Yahud, from Coptics, Maria. Although she's not wife, but he enjoyed her and she became a mother of his son. So each one will see how he is and compare to what their people were, and they know the difference. And also by that he joined all those tribes together. Now they are kinships. Now, and also now, too many other reasons that Ibn Hajar rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned. This all was as introductory to our topic, although we took the time of Abu Abdullah. But let me just brief what been reported about the character and manner of Rasulullah with his family and relatives. In regard to his wives, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha says, as in the hadith in Sahih Bukhari, that Aisha said, when it was my night in which Rasulullah sleeps in my house, he was sleeping with her on the bed, and he turned to the other side. After he thought that Aisha was already sleeping, so he put on his clothes and left the house, making no noise, not to disturb her. And she was not sleeping at that time, but she was covered. So she saw him doing that, and she chased him in the dark until he came to Al-Baqiyah, and he stood there for long. She said that he raised his hand 3 times, and then he turned, going back home. And when she saw him turn, she turned. So when he saw something there moving, he moved, he walked fast. She said, and I walked fast. She said he started jogging, and I started jogging. And she reached home before him. And then she went to bed uncovered. But when he ﷺ came, he found her breathing badly under the blanket. He knew that she was the one who was chasing him. He could not see her, could not figure out who was he. And then he said to her, did you think that Allah and His Messenger are going to oppress you? That I'll go in your night to other houses? She thought that he was going to other house. And then she said, Ya Rasulullah, tell me what should I say when I come to visit the graves. He ﷺ told her that you should say Assalamu ala ahli diyari min al-mu'minina wal-muslimin wa yarhamullahu al-mustaqdimina minna wal-mustakhirin wa inna insha'Allahu bikum lahiqun. So look at this. He ﷺ waited until he thought that she is sleeping. He did not want to disturb her. And then he came out, sneaked out quietly, and she chased him. And he came back and found that she was the one who was chasing him, but yet did not make a problem from that. And one day, as Aisha radiallahu anha said, also as in Bukhari, she said, I never was jealous of any of the wives of Rasulullah as I was jealous of Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. I never saw her, because she was a little girl, in Mecca, and I think she was born even after Khadija was passed away. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to mention her a lot. Used to remember Khadija a lot. And maybe, as she says, and maybe he slaughters a sheep and then he cuts it pieces, and then he sends this sheep pieces to the friends of Aisha, of Khadija, to the friends of Khadija. To the friends of Khadija. And maybe, and then she says to him, you do this like if there is no woman in the world except Khadija? And then he says, كانت وكانت وكان لي منها ولد. She was and she was, and I had children from her. And he SAW, as Aisha radiallahu anha said when she was asked, how did Rasulullah SAW used to be in his house? She said he used to fix his thobe, yani sew it when it is cut, and repair his shoes when it is cut. And he does like all men do in their houses. Yani, look at this. Why she mentioned this? Yani, he used to repair his thobe and his shoes, and he used to do like every man do in their houses. That means that what men do in their houses: eat, sleep, enjoy their families. He used to do this, but away from that, he ﷺ used to do whatever he needs for himself to be done. Now, and as in the other hadith, she said he used to serve his family. He used to serve his family. It is not all what we can say about the character of Rasulullah in his houses with his wives and relatives. However, it is only a reminder for all those husbands and even wives, because we gone through many benefits of from his wives, so that we implement this type of information. It's not only to be known and that's it, as is said in the conference and that's it. La, we need to act upon that. We need to be soft, gentle with our wives. We need to be kind. Aisha radiallahu anha said that one day the Abyssinians came to Medina and they showed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as they call it, the war dancing, because the armies in those days, they used to have habits. All the armies, before they start fighting, each army show the other their power by special dancing, not dancing for dancing. It's a way of showing the techniques of fight. The techniques of fight. So Rasulullah ﷺ told Aisha, do you like to watch? She said yes. He then, because she was young and short, he put her on his shoulders and he stood. And she was looking from above the wall of her house, which was just adjacent to the masjid. And he remained standing like that for long, asking her, is it enough? She says, no. Is it enough? No. Is it enough? No. Look at that. She said, I kept saying no, no, no to know my position from him, before him. What I am to him. Is he going to sacrifice and keep standing carrying me? Or he would say, enough, come down. Like many husbands may do today. But he ﷺ remained standing, carrying her. Even if she was young and your baby now, you can't carry it this long. Not a wife. So she was estimating that. He said, look to the young girl, how much she loves to watch like this type of thing. Ya Ikhwan, what to be said is much, but the important is the implementation, taking the benefits and lessons from what is been reported from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah Ta'ala make us from those who listen to the truth and follow the best of it, and make us from those who be gentle to their families and be kind with everyone and be upon the best characters and manners. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.